Hi and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at a 3.3k team. It was requested by their other reviewers. I'm also going to look at camera angles and such for
Back
coaching.
the hell up on left side. Easy as that.
So let's start with the compositions. Versus Hog Comp versus Sigma. Versus Sigma usually wins against Hog because Hog doesn't really provide any value in the matchup. Sigma should be able to block every single pull hook, every single hook, all value, and your spam will never get through. You're also playing Ashe, so I guess you're going to play for an off angle or so. So for me, unless this is very comfort pick, I would not run this. This comp on the other hand, well, is what we see in Owl, right? It's the Owl comp. So this comp excels at playing against other Sigma or comps, but let's see what they do against you.
How far?
Get intelligent.
Surprise.
So let's talk about things to look out for before we start. So things to look out for is just you need to find a way to get value from the Roadhog. A good way to do that against this comp is to look for pull hooks on the Pharah or the Mercy. If they fly too far somewhere, they get too close. That's your primary target for the Orisa pull. I think your eyes should be looking for off angles because you're never actually going to get through their shields. So I would probably not even play in this location that you are. I'd probably walk back and play point. Or play either of the high grounds to start off with. But in an Orisa meta, like holding close like this, if they're playing Symmetra, bam, they have point, they get point control. If they are playing any sort of thing that would push through you, bam, they're into you, like you're already there. So holding close or holding high grounds are super overrated, and holding just point control if they have Symmetra. Because initial position, you're positioning for this kind of comp that they're playing. But yeah, so against this, it's fine where you're standing.
Nobody side coming right.
Come on, right?
Yeah, right there.
Also for the person recording, try to find an angle where you can see both this, and also the point. Everything beyond this choke is not really matter, but keep it like above here somewhere. If you see them rotate above here, just for camera angles, just try to keep it still because it makes it easier to see.
They're resistant.
Get the fuck back here.
This is not, you don't look for hooks like this. This hook is a low percentage hook. You 100% wait for a pull. Like if this guy start playing split and close to you, like up top here, you just wait for a pull and you pull hook. There's no reason to go for these like low percentage hooks.
Doom's on top, I think.
Right here, you're a sub, bam, pull, hog, hook, but you don't have hook now, so you can't do that.
Yep, he's going.
Doomfist behind.
He's gonna go for our support.
Okay, so you're super split here. You're going super wide. I would like to move both your Ada and your Sen either this corner or inside here. One is going to make it really hard for Doomfist to get any value. Now Doomfist is going to go and going to kill your Sen. He's going to get out for free. It's going to be super easy for him. So I would play inside here with most of my DPS. And like, look at how they're playing. This is a free pull hook. This is a free pull hook. These people, they don't matter right now. You just need to play this corner right here or here as tanks. Have your backline play inside here. Probably could do like a Roadhog Orisa Mei split to here and then the rest inside here. And you'd be fine. Because you'll be denying their spam from this location. So this can never kill your backline. And this would have to go in 1v3. Because these two cannot push you. So I will play over here and inside here.
Put a shield up.
He's going for me. I'm dead.
But this pick into this end is purely a positional mistake. You don't rotate wide like this against a Doomfist. Like you know he's up here, which means that he can easily take position here. He can just go straight for you and he'll get the kill. It's really hard for the Adam to hit the sleep when he's coming in like that. So play inside, and the big tip against Doomfist, always play in doorways. If you play in doorways, then his uppercut is going to be super consistent.
Whose mic is that?
Not
It's like a dog guy.
I'm pretty sure it's Julio.
Oh, that's why.
That's a pretty good hook.
Dead.
Okay, so there's no real object, like your comms, there's no really, this is what we're going to do, this is what we want to do. There's no looking for pull hooks. Your positioning is super split, you're positioning wide with your whole team, which you really shouldn't do against this kind of comp. So I'd advise working on your positioning, especially, but also the pull hooks. But I would also advise you try this comp, but with like maybe Sigma and Doomfist instead. Ashe is not really that good of a hero because her DPS downtime is really long, and you're gonna struggle to get any value at all from her. If you want to counter Pharah, you can play like McCree Doomfist or Widow Doomfist or Pharah Doomfist as well, and you'll have a much easier time trying to counter.
I played Discord on Ferris and go one-shot her.
They're blocking me off.
Doomfist on left side
Yeah,
behind.
Doomfist left side, Doomfist left side.
No reason for, like, you don't need to be in high ground as Widowmaker. If you play here, your sightline up here is better. If you play down here, your sightline up here is better. Both of which areas Pharah will come from, and more supported against Doomfist. You need to position for this Doomfist to be on the flank. You know that from last point. He is flanking all the time. Those kind of Doomfist, when you're playing Orisa Hog, it's a free pull hook. You just need to call him out where he is.
Orisa discorded.
Doomfist
Sigma.
Doomfist discorded. Pharah discorded.
Nothing with Widow here.
I mean, you could.
Nah.
You're out of position, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
god. You didn't land on that on purpose.
It was actually on purpose.
Sure.
So let's talk about comms as well for a bit. Your comms are an absolute mess, I'm gonna be honest. Like, there is no actual target calling, there is no setup calling, there's no calling what you're going to do, there's no calling what they're going to do. You need to be talking about these things. If you're going to play Orisa and try to have any value at all, you need to talk about pull hooks. If you're going to play a slow backline like Santana, you need to set up and talk about where you're setting up so your team actually knows how to play around you. And other than that, rotate with your tanks instead of away from them. For your DPS players, I'm not sure why you played Ashen first. Widowmaker is an okay pick, but you don't need to play, like, this Titan you get from high ground is not that good. Try to play the low grounds, or up on these high grounds, your Titans are much better. And you're also harder to punish for the Doom because you can't go around back. So you're going to easily see where he's coming from, and you can always dodge it. We are the DPS player playing Mei. There's not really much you can do because their comp just kind of run over you, because that's what that comp does.
Eric me on.
All for good.
When do you know? How do you know?
Die, Mercy! I got Mercy.
What are the supports?
Okay, so let's hope the attack is better.
We're gonna make him think we're going. Alright, come left side, come.
You're playing Symmetra, Rein, Orisa. I don't know why you wouldn't play Sigma or Rein, but sure, let's see.
On just up top.
I also don't know why you would play Ana over Lucio.
Put that Orisa shield.
Because now, you're going to TP to point, Ryan, and then Lucio will get you faster to point. And there wouldn't really be any other support which gives you any value, because this is going to be a shield war, right? Double shield against double shield. And you're playing Ryan. So you're just going to be dealing damage through the shield with the Fire Strike and the Moira Ball. And that might actually be enough to kill someone with the Moira Ball and the Ryan Fire Strike. So if you have Lucio, you have the ability to close out the fight by speeding into the enemy team, by having AoE amp healing. To deal, like, every time Moira fires a ball in, just bam, Lucio amp, and then no one dies. So, yeah. I would play Lucio, I would play Sigma, and but the rest of the comp is fine.
Short turrets. TP is up, TP is up.
They're going left.
Go for it, go for it.
Also.
Also, you should know what you're doing here, right? You should know, okay, we're gonna do this. And then, why is there Orisa over here if we're gonna TP here? Like, why are we not ready for this TP?
I'm switching.
Like, you actually miss it because you're slow. You need to know what you're doing before you walk out of spawn. Until you know what you're doing, sit inside spawn. If anyone wonders what you're supposed to do, then you ask.
Going behind them. Oh, Duncan, yeah, you can come with me. Don't hold up there. Just just make him think we're up there. Going behind them.
Can we go left? We go left, close to
I'm right on him. I'm right on him.
You're playing really, really slow here as Ryan. You can like fire strike out and peek if you want to bait them away from main. But then don't waste your shield. You're sitting on like 500 shield now or something. And it's really, really not good.
Well, I died. It's my bad. You up? Did you fall?
Yes, I was paying attention to my surrounding.
Honest with Hanzo.
I don't think that plan's gonna work.
Please do a teleporter, I don't want to die.
Should I have gone closer to them that are just dropping the
Okay.
point? Because I can't do anything.
We need the Sigma.
distance.
Don't think Ryan's gonna work.
It kind of worked and it kind of didn't. Because it was my bad on switching too early for Arista to move up there.
Okay, this is fine now. This is pretty normal. I would say Doomfist is better in this comp for replacing either of the DPS, but that's up to you.
Alright. We're gonna push him by walling off. Ready, man?
I didn't see.
Where are they? Oh, they're top right. Just push up. Space.
Go left, go left. I mean, go right.
Block that Hanzo. Block that Hanzo.
Look at how split you are. Your Mei's over here, and then your Reaper's over here, and then your like, what are you doing? Know where you're supposed to go before you go. It's like the first rule of team play. If you're going to go left, then you know that you're going left by the time you're here. If you're going to go this way, right, then you know that by the time you're here. You know where you're supposed to go before the fight starts. And if you see them up here, then, okay, we're going to go this way. Or we're going to go this way. You have a pre-plan for where they're setting up. And then you need to follow that call. You're so split, and you're sitting wasting shield, wasting cooldowns, wasting time, not dealing damage, letting them poke you. They build ultimates. This is not good.
Yeah, go right.
There's
They teleported the top right, left.
Yeah, they're up here with me. I need heals. They're coming behind us. Behind us up top. I'm flanking them.
Your Sigma is not rotating his shield properly. So what you want to do is that you want to shield for a little bit and run a Orisa shield, and then you want to use your shift, and then you want to let the Orisa shield break, and then you want to shield again, and then you place a new Orisa shield. And then you place a new Sigma shield in front of the Orisa shield, and you need to rotate it better. You're kind of just like setting it in front and then not rotating it.
Do you like nanotech?
Also, what are we talking about? Like, there's no calling for actual targets.
no.
Come back.
Regroup.
I
We
killed
need to get
Sombra. I
Meg.
killed her. I'm gonna kill
We
her.
can regroup, wait down.
Yeah.
I think we should rather than die for this.
Mercy.
Though he wants a Moira though.
Are they still playing 4?
Chewy limbs is gold, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Like, these comps are useless. What are you trying to do? There's so many more important things. How are we going to use this nano? What ultimates does the enemy team have? What are we going to do about their shields? Where are we going to set up? Which way are we going to go? There's so many more important things that needs to be talked about that aren't talked about at all.
I guess we're gonna have to push him with ults. Back up. We're low.
I guess we're going to have to push on. Yeah, of course you have. Which ultimates? How are we going to use them? How are we going to stop us from just feeding into them? Because right now, you're just feeding into them as you're trying to do something, because you aren't sure what you're going to do.
We're low.
Like, instead of trying to figure out what you're doing when you're here, try to figure out what you're doing when you're here. It is so much easier for you.
Push left.
Get inside.
They have a teleporter up there.
Get your cooldowns up.
I think there's no, there's not.
60 seconds remaining.
Drop this shield, you're wasting shield.
We win this here.
Lol.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, res.
Push
Go,
in,
go, go,
push
go.
in, push in, push in. I'm gonna TP behind them.
She's one, she's one.
Why is your Sigma split? There's always one person who doesn't want to play with his team, and it frustrates me. Just play with your team, and if you're going to play Sigma like this, play a different off angle. Play an off angle you can rotate from. The reason you want to flank with Sigma is to play a different angle than the rest of your team to get behind the shield. You're just playing the same angle in a shitty position. Play with your team.
One, nice.
Sigma half.
Dang it.
I'm on Orisa.
So dead. Eric,
I didn't heal, I didn't heal.
Suck everyone's soul.
You guys got it, you guys got it, you guys got it. Easy win there.
trying
Easy
to
win.
heal.
They're frozen, they're frozen.
Call a target, call the Sigma. Only your Mei is shooting him. If only like one left click from your Sigma is dead. You need some target focus. You need to call who you're shooting, not just kill people.
I thought we got it.
Just circle lessons. Actually, no, last fight.
Good game.
We should have waited until this Symmetra shoot went down.
Wait for me, tag.
Okay, so quick things. You need to decide on what you're doing. You're not doing anything most of the time. You're just walking in, trying to think of something to do. That's not how you want to play it. Your comps also, at least you're playing Sigma Orisa, is kind of better, but I would like some Doomfist. Doomfist is really, really, really good right now. Like, he's absolutely broken. For your comms, you're not talking about ult usage, you're actually not actually target calling. It's a lot of ways that comms based on unnecessary information. You're not calling where they are, you're not calling who they're flanking, you're not calling for help, you're not calling for abilities. Like, you need to ask for things. If you need your team to push, you ask for them to push. If you need your team to use an ability, like if you need a shield as a Reaper, so let's say your team is rotating like this, and there's a hand swap on high ground, and your Reaper comes through like this, you can ask for a shield from your Sigma up here. There's stuff like that. You can talk about these things, and there's things you can ask about. Remember that your team is there to help you. They're not there to make it more difficult for you. Also, rotate together and position, like, if the enemy team is coming this direction with this kind of comp that they had, and you're playing defense and you're holding here, make sure your supports are behind you and that you have the option to go to this corner. You don't want your supports over here. So, it's just an option of being more grouped, doing things together, which is like really forehead, is what every team should do. You should look to actually have a plan going into fights, because that's really lacking. And you should also think about where you set up compared to where they set up. They need to be ready to make a rotation, and when you make a rotation, just make sure your team is following and keeping their position. If your backline was here and your frontline was here, and they come like this, and you want to rotate to your frontline here, then your backline needs to rotate around and take the same position behind your backline. It's not like you hold here, and then they walk in here, and your backline walks like this, and your frontline walks like this, and then your backline walks like this. This is not how it works. Rotate together. Take the time you need, but have a plan before the fight. Know where you're going. Okay. That's gonna be it for me. If you want a chance to get your WOD reviewed, you can join my Discord. I'll put a link below. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.